Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of UBU Yoga. On this rainy day today, Erin and I decided that we wanted to play a little catch up and share some thoughts and share our intentions with you.
That's right. We were talking a lot about all of you. So we thought we would let you in on some of the inner workings of UBU yoga. What goes better on a gray day, a gray morning, no less,
Yeah,
to me is a cup of tea, right?
absolutely.
So, I like to work a little bit of magic, a little bit of a blend whenever we get together. So, I wanted to share a tea that has three ingredients to it, um, rose hip, pine, and yarrow. Rose hip is a fruit, and the reason I liked that particular ingredient for our tea is that it offers or helps with renewal, and that was something that we had been talking about the last
Hmm.
week. It kind of stirs up some of those peaceful energies that are within and allows for a calmer flow to what's going on inside. And then I thought to add a little bit of yarrow. Yarrow is a flower, and it's a wonderful wound healer. And I would think predominantly a lot of people think of it as like a physical wound healer, but why not extend that to the wounds that are unseen?
Oh,
And
yeah.
we've spent a lot of time
Yeah.
talking about
I
that.
think we're all going through emotional wounds
Yeah, and a
to
lot of
some
times they're the
degree.
ones that we can't see,
Yeah.
right? Those
Yeah.
spiritual wounds, some that are just show no sign of healing. And then that leads me to one of my favorite herbs, thyme, which
Hmm.
is supposed to help with that healing that we were just talking about and courage. So this tea has no official name that is to be determined. But the theme of the tea is about abundance, and it's about healing of wounds, renewing so that we can move forward.
Love that.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And it's
So
delicious too, by the way, guys.
So, as we begin to settle in, I wanted to share an intention with you and with all of you as you sip. Teas are often just enjoyed because they taste good, but there's also a lot of, lack of a better word, ceremony that can go with it. Smelling that tea deeply, kind of taking it in and using your senses to allow it to kind of become part of you. So I have an intention that I will share in just a moment. But what I thought I would have you do, just to make this a little more witchy, I suppose.
Ooh,
I don't know. I just
like
like the
Plant
sound of
Witch.
that.
Yeah.
I have little wands,
Ooh.
wands of thyme, just sprigs from my garden that I picked in the rain. And what I thought we could do is I love that you smelled that first.
Yeah, it smells really good.
Give your tea a little stir
Oh,
here.
I love it.
Yep. Give it a little extra dash of courage. And then when you've, stirred it a
Hmm.
couple times, you can just take it out and rest it.
Love.
But keep the mug in your hand. Wonderful. All right, so I'm going to invite you, Annie, and anybody out there who might have paused this so they could make a hot bev of their own, to take a moment, okay? And even before you take another sip, just to kind of smell it, okay? And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and think about renewal. Think about courage, okay? And continue to smell. Feel the warmth of the mug through your hands, the steam coming from the hot water as it kind of wafts over your face. And here's the intention. And I invite you, Annie, and all of you to say it to yourself as I give you the words aloud. I will stay in a loving place. I am more than enough. I am absolutely and completely, abundantly me. Take another nice deep inhale in, sigh it out. And then when you're ready, open your eyes.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
You are so welcome. Any chance I have to get creative and I don't know, kind of take in some of the things that we've been talking about and then
Yeah.
put them into something tangible, something that can be smelled, felt, I don't know, allow the plants to kind of, share their magic with us is, any excuse I need, Annie, I
Oh,
will share.
I love when you share your magic with us
You're
and
welcome.
me, especially. I know a big topic of conversation that Erin and I have been moving through is that of fear. And we just wanted to kind of reassure you guys that I know you see us hop on here, we're moving through videos and we're doing our thing, and maybe it doesn't appear like we have fear or insecurities or things that we're working through, but I just wanted to reassure you guys that I feel fear every single day. You know, the minute I step outside and I'm walking around with my crutch, I mean, that fear that I have inside of me, it just sometimes it's very huge. But I wanted to share a story with you in regards to my path with fear and strength. And I can't believe now that I'm reminiscing about this that it's actually been 10 years ago that I actually attempted to do a 13-mile marathon in Anchorage, Alaska. And I know people who know me, I've shared this story with you, but I wanted to share this with you guys. So it's so important for you to get um, what this meant for me. So I trained for 6 months for this marathon in Alaska. And up to the 6 month, I was feeling pretty good, feeling really ready, feeling really strong. About 2 weeks in, before I was meant to hop the plane and go do this thing, I started feeling pain in my right leg. And I had a choice to make at that time whether or not I wanted to push through and finish what I set out to accomplish, or just stay home and not move through with it. So I did decide to go, and I rested off of my leg the week up to the marathon. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous day. It was probably like 70 degrees. It was perfect. I mean, the sky was so blue. And if anybody hasn't been to Anchorage, you have to go because it was really, really beautiful. So I will try to keep this story short and sweet, but I was walking alongside a very good friend of mine, Pat, and I know that she remembers this. This memory is dear to her heart as well. And we're coming up on the 4th mile, feeling pretty good, doing great, and all of a sudden the pain just kicked in. And every time I took a step forward, I mean, the pain was just, it felt pretty severe. And at that moment, I remember, Pat saying to me, Annie, if you decide to stop now, it's okay. You've already won. But that stubborn person inside of me wanted to cross that finish line. It was so important to me that all the people that I love and all the people that were struggling in my life at the time, that I pushed through my fear, I pushed through the pain, and that I actually crossed that finish line anyway. So we decided to keep moving forward. We get up to the 5th mile, and another dear friend of mine, Andy, he was a coach that was supposed to stay on post there that day. He decided to walk alongside me the whole rest of the way with Pat. So I had Pat on my right, Andy on my left, and honest to God, guys, it took me 6 hours in pain to cross that finish line. But every time I started to feel afraid and every time I was in pain, I reached deep down inside of me and I was like, this isn't about me. This is about everybody else out there that, needs a push, needs encouragement, needs inspiration, So I pushed through and I was exhausted and I was in pain. And I remember coming up onto the finish line and I heard people chanting my name, and I really wasn't thinking about that race or that marathon. I wasn't coming from ego with it. I really didn't want to do it because I wanted some kind of praise or a gold star. But what was so beautiful to me when I crossed that finish line and they were walking toward me with the full medal, what that symbolized for me is that no matter how hard I think something in life is going to be, that I have so much more strength inside of me than I ever give myself credit for. So when they gave me the full medal and I crossed the finish line, I felt exhausted. I felt like I couldn't possibly go another step. But I felt, especially somebody having cerebral palsy, I felt the strongest I ever have in my entire life. And of course, I put myself back in a wheelchair that day. But even so, so it's really important for me to share with you guys that, that was something that I overcame 10 years ago. And I constantly have to go back there now and remind myself of the strength and the perseverance that I once had in that moment when things start to feel hard now. Because, we're in this place in the world where, COVID is really scary, isolation is huge, finances are up and down for everybody, and we are just in this place of one big unknown feeling, right? And I know that everybody's feeling fear. I know that everybody's feeling insecurity, but I just kind of wanted to remind you guys, even when Erin and I are doing videos, that it's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel insecure. We totally get it, but we want to share with you also that we're here for you. And I know that if you choose to push through your fear, you're gonna find strength on the other side of that you didn't know that you have. All the strength, all the courage, all the love, and all the compassion that you'll ever need is right here inside of you. And we wanted to give that back to you today.
Well said. I love hearing that story.
It's a
Every
great
time it
story.
does, it makes me
Yeah.
smile. And then in moments, I like almost like a nail biter. Like, is she gonna do it? But I know Annie so well at this point that of course she did do it. But 10 years ago, I bet you weren't so sure. So I don't know. That
Oh,
story just always kind of gives me chills,
yeah.
And
And it amazes me that it was actually 10 years ago because it almost feels like yesterday. Um, and I think the funniest part of the story is that I actually put myself back in a wheelchair. Thank God I didn't stay there, but I think it's important for Erin and I to just encourage you guys to try because the hard in something is actually what makes it great.
Mhm. Yeah, and when we talk a lot about the fear, it doesn't have to be of a marathon, of course. But I feel fear every day as I'm about to teach because I
Absolutely.
always wonder, to come back to my T intentions, if I'm enough. And on some level, I know that I am, but every day, every morning, because we're 100% virtual still where I work, I have those doubts. They creep in those 3 or 4 minutes as I'm waiting for students to arrive. And that fear is very real.
It's
And,
very
I have to
real.
push through for all sorts of reasons, financial, and, I've made a commitment. But it's funny, 5 minutes after all the kids are there, I'm like, why did I doubt? I love this. I love what I'm doing. Um, while not virtually loving it, I love those connections that I make. And so that 5 minutes before, the fear is very real. But 5 minutes after, I wonder, why did I feel that way?
Right.
I know I can do it. So fears, big and small, fears that we feel, pushing through and remembering, why you do something, and finding that strength, to always move forward and push through no matter what. Really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And we do make a difference, and you make a difference in people's lives every day.
we both do.
And it's important to hold on to that too. Even if it's just one person, they're making a difference.
Absolutely.
So keep going. We love you, and we would actually love to hear from you.
Mm,
You'll notice that we did put our email address in this post. So we'd love to hear from you via email, via comments, how you're doing, if there's anything that you're struggling with. Share how you feel about our videos and things that you would like to see moving forward, because our intention is to really be here for you and to help you through whatever it is you're going through. So
absolutely.
until next time, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.